Welcome to another Super Deluxe Edition unboxing video. Today we're going to take a look at the new Kate Bush vinyl editions, which have come out via her new label State 51 Conspiracy. So all 10 of Kate's albums have been made available via State 51, the first 3 US only, and the subsequent 7, starting with The Dreaming, are available worldwide. Now these are available in 3 different editions. There's some special indie only coloured vinyl, which we're going to look at today. There's standard black vinyl, which should be available everywhere. And then there are CD editions, which are also available everywhere. Now, before we get going, one thing to say is these are based on the 2018 remasters. So they're not going to sound any different, even though new lacquers were made, new metalwork was made for the pressings. These were pressed at Record Industry in Holland. But fundamentally, they're going to sound the same. And apart from the coloured vinyl and some of the labels, which we'll get to, they're going to look fairly much the same as well. Each pressing does come with an obi strip. And the obi strip has the date that the record was pressed on. So in the first pressing is the 9th of October 2023. As you can see there. So that's going to change as time goes on. These are unlimited pressings. So despite the fact they're coloured vinyl and they're quite groovy to look at, they're not limited editions. The only thing that's going to change going forward is that date there. So as you can see, this gives you the spiel. Exclusive indie editions. So indie editions means these are only available in independent record shops. So big chains like HMV or online retailers like Amazon, they can't sell these editions. So they're supporting the indie community with these editions, I guess. There's a picture of the vinyl there. We're obviously going to look at that in a minute. But as I said, I mean, fundamentally, the inner sleeves, the covers, any special textures or spot varnishing or anything, all that's identical to the 2018 editions. The other thing to say is if you don't really like coloured vinyl or you think coloured vinyl's a gimmick, then this probably isn't the video for you, because this is really just about showing off the coloured vinyl editions of each of the album. They have done an excellent job, as we're going to see. So if you're not interested in looking at coloured vinyl, then this isn't the video for you. Okay, so we're going to skip the first 3 records because I don't have them, and in fact I think there's been some delays with those first 3 records. They're not available on the STE shop because they're only available for sale in America, technically anyway. So let's talk about The Dreaming then. Kate's 1982 album, her first self-produced album. Familiar cover there. All of these records come in these self-sealable sleeves, which is quite nice. So, as I was just saying earlier, nothing much is different about this. In fact, it's virtually identical in sort of look and feel to the 2018 remastered edition. Kate has developed a new logo for Fish People, which is effectively her label, which is now distributed through State 51 Conspiracy. You can see the difference there. So that's the new Fish People logo. So the old logo wasn't the most popular amongst fans, particularly on the labels. I think the new logo is a definite improvement if you hold them side by side. So everything's fairly much the same as it was before. So it has the rounded corners on the inner sleeve, which was part of the original design and was repeated for 2018. But this is pressed on a smoky coloured vinyl. But I think that's stunning. It looks excellent. And the label, there's the new Fish People logo. Set on black, and I think that also looks really quite nice. A very big improvement on the previous one. One of the sort of bugbears in 2018 was the Fish People logo being stuck on old records, and it didn't really look very good. So they have continued that to an extent. It's not on all of them, but they've sort of made it work in a way that's just better than it was before. So that's what the old logo looked like on The Dreaming. So it's, I think it's done much better on the new one. And for comparison, if you're wondering what the original Dreaming label looked like on a UK original, that's what it looked like. So that's The Dreaming, and as we'll see, the common theme of these records are the labels have been upgraded or changed. And These are the indie editions, so you do get some stunning coloured vinyl. So that's the first record, The Dreaming. Next up, Hounds of Love, one of Kate's most acclaimed records, probably her most popular album. 1985, Running Up That Hill, Hounds of Love, Cloud Busting, The Big Sky, 4 singles. So again, got the Obi strip, Fish People reissue. This is pressed on a raspberry beret vinyl, which we'll look at in a second. But again, as before, fundamentally nothing much has really changed in terms of the presentation. So it's the same spot varnished picture in the middle. Maybe this feels slightly silkier, but it's fundamentally the same as before. Same picture on the back, new Fish People logo, and it's also got the same inner sleeve. I did notice the inner sleeves now on all of these records now refer to the new Fish People logo. Don't know if you can see that there, but it says Fish People logo designed by Timorous Beasties. They're from Scotland, and Barnbrook. So Barnbrook, famous for David Bowie, The Next Day, and Black Star. That won't have been cheap, that work, I don't think. But again, we've got another coloured vinyl pressing. This is the Raspberry Beret vinyl. This time we've got a solid vinyl. Now Kate, again, like The Dreaming, she's gone for using the new Fish People logo in the middle. And again, it works, reasonably well. It doesn't work quite as well as on The Dreaming, but it looks quite nice. The original Hounds of Love just had a white label with the typography on it. So the track listing, and then Hounds of Love and the Ninth Wave. But again, we can do a comparison with the 2018 version, which looked like that, Hounds of Love. So again, a bit like The Dreaming, I think we can say that's definitely an improvement. I mean, Hounds of Love, originally it was pressed on marbled vinyl in the US. And then there was the Audio Fidelity version in 2010. Last year we had an HMV version. This is the HMV Centenary version, which was on uncoated stock and was on coloured vinyl as well. This was a kind of recycled vibe. But you can see that's not half as nice as the new one. The Raspberry Beret is very vibrant. The label here is not very nice. So definite improvement with this new pressing of Hounds of Love we're talking here in terms of the looks, the visual appeal. So moving on to the Sensal World, 1989, 4 years after Hounds of Love. We had the whole story in between, of course. So this is on an ash grey vinyl. This looks really, really good. Same thing, Obi strip, 9th of October. This is where it gets interesting with the labels, actually. So we've got Sensal World. Presentation's the same, inner sleeve's the same. We've got the new Fish People logo on the back. Same inner sleeve. And look at that. Absolutely stunning. Very, very pretty to look at. This is interesting because Kate has stepped back from you. Unlike Hounds of Love and The Dreaming, she hasn't just updated the centre label with the new Fish People logo. She's actually decided to ditch the Fish People logo for this and go with a sort of more iconic representation of the album. It's more in keeping with the themes of the album, the front cover, etc. And as a reminder, here's the 2018 version. So, I mean, there's not much comparison, is there? The original Sensal World label from the original in the UK was just black with type on it. But that's very, very nice to look at. That's a great job, and it's interesting. So it's not, she hasn't decided everything has to have Fish People all over it. Where appropriate in her mind, they've done something different. The same thing is the case with the Reissues, which we'll look at in a second. So there's the Sensal World. So the Reissues, 1993. So this was the last album Kate did before coming back in 2005 with Ariel, so there's a big 12-year gap. This is a double album. Originally this was a single. In 2018 it became a double. Very glossy sleeve, which is exactly the same as the 2018 version and the original. So everything looks the same. There's the vinyl. And as you'll see, the centre label, a bit like the Sensal World, has got Reissues from the album artwork. Now that this coloured vinyl is stunning. I have to say, with these Kate Bush indie editions, some of the best coloured vinyl I've seen on any record in terms of, you know, matching artwork colours, just the sort of richness and the kind of multi-dimensional factor of the sort of colours and everything. I think it's working very, very well. So compare that to the 2018 version, which looks like that. I mean, there's no comparison really. What Kate's actually doing here is she's reverting to the original design, because the original vinyl had that label on it, although it had text all over it with the track listing. But she's actually stepping back from what she did in 2018, which is Fish People. And in this instance, she's actually recreating the original label, but simplifying it. And of course, with this red coloured vinyl pressing, which is called Dracula. I have to give it its proper name. I can't really stress how good these look in terms of the vinyl pressing. Of course, this is a double. This is the first double we're looking at. So you get two of them. I mean, they are the same, but you get two records. So then, of course, Kate, she went away for a long time, but came back in 2005 and surprised everyone with Ariel, which was up there with some of her very best work, The Dreaming and Hands of Love. In fact, it echoes The Hands of Love in the way that it's two separate sort of suites of music, kind of more single-based songs on the first record. In this case, on Hands of Love, it was sides, and then a more conceptual piece of music on the second. Ariel is pressed on Goldilocks vinyl. Again, this is stunning coloured vinyl. What you'll see in a minute is absolutely amazing. But as before, the presentation is the same. So we've now got the new Fish People logo. That used to be an EMI logo once upon a time. But the actual artwork and everything is the same. This is the first album with a very big, thick booklet in it, which gets represented here. Lyrics, you know, but Bertie scribbles, photos, all the rest of it. So all this is the same. It's kind of funny not seeing the EMI logo at the bottom here, because this colour had that sort of EMI 1970s vibe to it, didn't it? So the EMI logo looked really at home at the bottom there, so it's kind of weird not seeing that. So again, double album, but we've got some new label designs on here. But first off, check out that Goldilocks vinyl. Trying to get it as best I can in the light there, but it's almost a metallic, orangey kind of sheen. It's absolutely vibrant and very, very impressive. And of course, it kind of suits the vibe of the album. It matches the sort of sunset kind of burnt orange sort of vibe. So these are sides 1 and 2, so that's the label. Let's put it the right way up. And then that's the label for side 2. So this is a change. The original Ariel just had black labels. I'll show you the original one. So here's an original Ariel. This is what I was saying about the EMI. It had the old EMI label there like that. But yeah, so they're the original labels. So as you can see, they're just plain black labels. There's nothing very flashy about them at all. And then the 2018 version, it tried to do a sort of hybrid Fish People and a bit of the Ariel artwork, which kind of is a bit of a bodge job if you ask me. Of course, there's a second record. Very, very impressive. The kind of metallic element to it is the bit that I think is the most impressive. It looks like it's sprayed a metallic colour. So there's Ariel. There's the KT Bush Band sort of logo hidden away. Now then, we're on to director's cuts. This is when Kate came up with her own label, Fish People. So this is the first album where all the Fish People logos and visual language was first presented. So this was a double album. Again, with this version, nothing much has really changed. You get another big thick booklet here. And this is exactly the same really as the other one. It has all these photographic staging and people wearing fish heads and all that kind of stuff, which Kate seems to really be into. At the time, this seemed to be just something that she was, interested in exploring for this record, but of course it kind of went on beyond that. And some of this photography ended up on the CD box sets, and it became a kind of continuation. So these are pressed on hazy red vinyl. It looks very nice indeed. Again, you know, she's updated the Fish People logo, so it looks a lot better than it did before. It's actually a kind of pinky, it's a sort of pinky, verging on salmony colour, but it's a pinky colour, transparent. And they're all doubles at this stage. We had double Reissues, double Ariel, double director's cut. And in a minute we're going to look at the double 50 words for snow. So there we go, same kind of pressing on the second record. So as before, by way of comparison, this is an original pressing of director's cut. So it looked like that. There's the sort of Fish People logo with a blue background. And then this is the 2018 reissue version. And all it did was just recreate the original. This was the template for 2018, this logo. So that's director's cut, pressed on hazy red, transparent vinyl. And finally, 50 words for snow. So this again was 2011. This was Kate's last studio album, so it's been 12 years now. So she's kind of matched the gap between the Reissues and Ariel. I'm sure Kate would say she's been really busy with Before the Dawn concert and blah blah, reissues, etc. But she hasn't released a new album for 12 years. Now this is very glossy. It's a bit like the Reissues in terms of presentation. It's great. It's a great album, this. Gatefold. Again, new Fish People logo. Same booklet as before, so this is the third record in a row where we get a big booklet in the vinyl. And this is pressed on snowy white vinyl, but you know, instead of just being normal white vinyl, it looks like that. It's stunning. Again, another stunning colour, texture. It's like kind of frozen ice or something. It looks amazing. But the other significant thing is she's done a new label for 50 words for snow. So she's actually used the imagery from the booklet on the labels, which is really nice. No text or anything, just a simple image on the label. And of course it's the same with the second record, same kind of vinyl pressing and just different images in the same style on the label. So if you're wondering what she did back in 2011, here's the original. She had a sort of bastardized version of the Fish People logo. So instead of being blue and red like the standard Fish People logo, it was shades of grey, which, you know, did sort of work better. And then she actually repeated that on the 2018 reissues. This is a reissue. So it's interesting, isn't it, the thought process. I'm sure that Fish People logo could have looked good on this, the new one. But she's decided not to worry about consistency or everything has to look the same. And with the Sensal World, with the Reissues, with 50 Words for Snow, the actual album artwork is overridden any concerns about using the Fish People logo. So that's the final studio album, that's 50 Words for Snow. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at these new exclusive indie coloured vinyl editions of Kate Bush's albums. All 7 of these albums are available from the SDE shop, and the link should be coming up on your screen now. If you have enjoyed this video, why not subscribe to the Super Deluxe Edition YouTube channel for more great physical music unboxed. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.